wake up in the morning determined, telling yourself, today I'm going to fix this. Because you did everything. You increased your fiber. You drank more water. You followed every piece of advice. But when you go to the bathroom, unbelievably, your body is still stuck. And then the question hits you. Is there something wrong with me? Let me tell you something important. Your body is not broken. It is responding to the environment you created. But your system may be out of rhythm. And today, we're going to understand why. But before we talk about solutions, we need to understand something fundamental. Constipation is not simply not going to the bathroom. There is a clear clinical definition. And when you understand what's actually happening, you realize the problem was never just fiber. So let's organize this clearly. What is constipation really for you? Tell me in the comments. According to the Rome 4 clinical criteria, constipation is defined by symptoms such as fewer than 3 bowel movements per week, excessive straining, a sensation of incomplete evacuation, hard stools in more than 25% of bowel movements. And this is more common than most people think. According to the American College of Gastroenterology, about 16% of adults in the United States suffer from chronic constipation. Among people over 60, that number can exceed 30%, which means many people who think this is normal may actually be living with functional constipation. And this is where the most common mistake begins, believing fiber is a universal solution. Now let's separate expectation from reality. Fiber does not make you go. It creates the conditions for your intestines to be able to go. The daily fiber recommendation, according to the Institute of Medicine, is 25 grams per day for women, 38 grams per day for men. Yet nearly 90% of Americans do not reach this target. So yes, increasing fiber is often necessary. The problem is how it's done. There are two main types. Soluble fiber, found in oats, chia seeds, psyllium, beans. It forms a gel when it comes into contact with water. It helps soften stool and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Insoluble fiber, found in wheat bran, certain vegetables, fruit peels. It increases stool bulk and helps speed intestinal transit. But here's the detail that changes everything. Fiber needs water to work. The average recommended fluid intake is around 30 to 35 milliliters per kilogram of body weight per day, unless medically restricted. If you weigh 70 kilograms, 154 pounds, that's approximately 2.1 to 2.4 liters spread throughout the day. Without enough water, fiber increases volume but not softness. You create larger, drier stools. Result? More straining, more discomfort, more frustration. Fiber is a tool, but a tool without context doesn't solve the problem. Another overlooked piece, your gut microbiome has to be ready for fiber. When you suddenly increase fermentable fiber intake, intestinal bacteria produce gas during fermentation. If there's imbalance, known as dysbiosis, this can cause bloating, abdominal distension, heaviness, and many people conclude, fiber makes me worse. But often it's not the fiber itself, it's the abrupt change. Research shows the microbiome can take weeks to adapt to significant dietary changes. That's why gradual increases, about 5 grams per week, are usually better tolerated. Diets high in ultra-processed foods, low vegetable intake over time, frequent antibiotic use, and excessive alcohol can reduce microbial diversity. Without diversity, the gut becomes less efficient. Recurrent constipation is often a sign of an imbalanced ecosystem, and you don't fix that simply by adding more bran. Normal intestinal transit time typically ranges between 24 and 72 hours. When it exceeds that window, more water is reabsorbed in the colon. Stool becomes harder. And the harder it is, the more difficult it becomes to pass. Now here's the invisible factor: chronic stress. The gut is regulated by the enteric nervous system, often called the second brain. Under constant stress, the sympathetic nervous system dominates, alert mode. Digestion becomes a lower priority. Motility slows down. Even if you're eating well, if you're living in constant tension, your system won't respond efficiently. Sedentary behavior also reduces mechanical stimulation of the intestines. The gut is muscle, and muscle needs movement. Clinical studies show that regular walking, 20 to 30 minutes per day, can significantly improve bowel frequency in people with functional constipation. Movement is not optional. It's part of the treatment. Bowel movements aren't just about pushing. They're about coordination. Between 25% and 50% of people with chronic constipation have some degree of pelvic floor dyssynergia. In simple terms, they strain, but the muscle that should relax actually contracts. The result? Effort without efficiency. No amount of fiber corrects muscular coordination. Many people spend years adjusting their diet when the issue is functional. Ignoring the urge to go weakens the gastrocolic reflex. That reflex is strongest about 20 to 30 minutes after meals, especially breakfast. When repeatedly suppressed, the rectum adapts. It loses sensitivity. You stop feeling the urge. The longer stool remains in the colon, the more water is reabsorbed. The cycle reinforces itself. The gut works on rhythm, and rhythm must be respected. Many common medications contribute to constipation. Tricyclic antidepressants, opioids, antihistamines, iron supplements, aluminum-containing antacids, some blood pressure medications. Hormonal changes, especially during menopause, can also reduce gut motility. Aging naturally decreases nerve sensitivity and muscle strength. Recurrent constipation usually has multiple layers. Treating only food intake oversimplifies the problem. Osmotic laxatives can be helpful when appropriately used. Stimulant laxatives, when used chronically without guidance, may alter natural bowel response. The intestine is not lazy. It adapts to patterns. If it receives strong chemical stimulation frequently, it may reduce spontaneous response. Quick fixes relieve symptoms, but they don't reorganize the system. Now you see, it's not just about fiber. Is it a little clearer now? Ask yourself a few honest questions. Am I hydrated enough? Am I moving my body? Am I respecting my biological rhythm? Am I ignoring my body's signals? Am I treating the symptom or the system? Your gut communicates with you every single day, sometimes through silence, sometimes through discomfort, but always with information. And when you begin to understand the mechanism, things start to make more sense. You stop fighting your body and start working with it. If this content brought you some clarity, tell us here in the comments. And share this with someone who always says, "I already eat fiber and nothing works." Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because understanding the mechanism is the first step to regaining control. We'll see you in the next video.